I want to talk today about Chinese herbology. And it's really my passion and what I've loved to do. And what I feel is some of the most important supplements that you could ever put into any type of program, whether it's athletics or just a rounded out anti-stress program. And I'm going to talk a little bit about stress and how it relates to athletics and recovery, and basically give you an idea about how Chinese herbs work, because a lot of people think Chinese herbology is mostly about medicine, somewhere where you go to get an acupuncture treatment if you got a cold or a flu or something. And my training was more into the food aspect of Chinese herbs, meaning that there's a class of Chinese herbs that are used specifically to rebuild the body or to keep it strong, to offset stress, to make you or help you perform whatever you're doing at your optimum level. So a lot of Chinese herbs in this class, which is, by the way, referred to as tonics, are simply foods that directly impact the function of your organs or glands. And as you weave these things together into formulas, they're often pinpointing one particular part of your system, or they can be put into a broad base formula just to help your body to adapt. And that could be adapting to stress, adapting to the stress of an exercise program, helping you to sleep. All these different aspects can be worked on by a proper tonic herb program. The other great thing about tonic herbs is that it's not really about treating symptoms, so they're more of a long-term type of food that you can add to your body, and they're safe to take for a very, very long time. There's certain herbs that I've been taking every day for almost 20 years. And so they're just considered to be beneficial foods that aren't taken for anything in particular, other than that your body utilizes it to make very good energy and to balance out certain systems. It's not any different than making sure you have a certain number of servings of vegetables a day or a certain amount of protein. I make sure I'm getting a certain amount of herb every day because of the beneficial effects. And the great thing, again, about tonic herbs is that because they're a food, they don't have a one specific function in the body. You could take a particular herb and it might detox your liver, it might help you build blood, it might be good for your glandular system, might be good for your brain, might help you think clear, it also offsets stress. All these different things can happen with the same herb, based on the fact that it's making a certain part of your body, or let's just say a certain energy system in your body, stronger. And as a result of that, whatever that energy system regulates or has an impact on performs better. So that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit today and give you a little education on what I do in Chinese herbology and basically how I learned it. I was an apprentice for a master herbalist for around 8 years, specifically just being an exclusive apprentice in a business with a master herbalist. And what I was trained in was the original system of all Chinese herbology. In fact, all Chinese medicine came out of this idea or this system, and every bit of the healing arts, no matter what it is that's involved in Oriental medicine, came from the idea of three treasures. Now, basically what that means is that in that philosophy of China, that everything in the universe, didn't matter what it was, could be classified into a program of three treasures, but when they apply it to herbs and medicine, it's basically the energies of the human body. So those three treasures are called Jing, Qi, and Shen. Now I'm sure all of you have heard of Qi. It has something to do with energy and it's related to that, but I'll explain it more in depth. But Jing, Qi, and Shen were said to be three vital energies that were so important to human health that they were meant to be treasured throughout your life. In fact, the whole philosophy, Eastern philosophy of health, has to do with moderation, meaning not doing anything to too much of an extreme. And basically that is centered around this idea that when you balance Jing, Qi, and Shen, your whole system regulates and you stay in the greatest range of being healthy every single day. Now in Western medicine, you could almost say that the three treasures relates to homeostasis, we've all heard of homeostasis and the concept of how your body has a self-regulating energy, which basically keeps every single aspect of your health within certain parameters. Let's say acid-alkaline. Everybody knows acid-alkaline balance. Well, that's part of the body's system of regulation or homeostasis. Balancing out some of the nutrients you have in your food, or say some of the toxic substances that come in your body. Maybe it's too acidic, too alkaline. All that balancing effect of that comes from the body's own energy and self-regulation, and it's based on the amount of stored energy and nutrients the body has available at that particular time. So the three treasures kind of follows that whole idea, or I should say predates that whole idea, because the three treasures is really about 5,000 years old that we know of, where it was first written about. So when you think about Jing, Qi, and Shen, it's more of an energetic idea, and I want you to kind of keep that in mind as we go along, that everything in Chinese medicine is described as energy and energy flow, but Chinese herbs have a nutritive quality. In other words, they feed the body just like nutrition, like a good meal of highly nutritious food. It also has an energetic quality as to the fact that it influences a particular organ or organ system in your body more than some other part. And all these different aspects have to be taken into regard when you're making a formula or taking Chinese herbs. But there's very simple ways to add formulas to your basic program with very little effect of throwing you off balance, because if you're sticking to tonics, again, you're basically talking about food. And even though you probably will sit down and go over programs in the beginning with an herbalist and have him consult with him to find out where you should start and go, pretty much as you go along, you'll find out that you can start to figure these things out on your own and not have to continuously consult with someone to use Chinese herbs. Now again, most of the herb products that you want to get involved with will be tonics. They're not medicine. And I wouldn't advise trying medicinal products or treating yourself because it's way too confusing, and leave that up to the experts. Get involved in the food, the things that will regenerate your body and are just really good for you. For example, you've heard of Goji. Goji was a famous juice that was on the in the health food stores. It started out as a network marketing product. It was based on a fruit called lycium. In fact, the word Goji is actually made up. But the fruit was called lycium, or lychee berries, and it really was a red raisin from China that was used in tonic herbalism along with other herbs to build blood, cleanse your liver, and help build up the energy of your kidneys. Well, a little handful of those every day would be beneficial to anybody, because your kidneys get weak with stress, they get weak with excessive exercise or excessive sex or not sleeping enough. And so anybody, most everybody is experiencing some of that at any time in their life. So a handful of those would be beneficial to anybody. They just are giving you a food that's more potent than, say, eating vegetables or a protein. And it has a specific energy that'll offset particular stresses in your life. And lychee berries are very good for actually helping the body build blood, which is very important for any athlete, but in particular women. It's really good for their heart. You want to avoid, if you're a woman, and especially if you're exercising very hard and on a regular basis, you want to avoid becoming anemic, because it puts so much stress on your physical heart. And so, but this is just an example of a tonic herb. It's a common food. And in the network marketing field, it got blown out of proportion to where they're trying to get you to eat 10 servings a day as some superhuman effect. And it's really not how they work. They're more just of a light replenishment and a really good food to have in your diet.